This is the first question on the American West paper, and it is asking you to explain one consequence of railroads for the lives of Indigenous peoples of the plains. You can see on this paper that because of the recent language changes in the specification, they've also provided the old language, which was Plains Indians, just to make sure that you understand the question. A consequence is asking you to identify something that happened as a result of something else. So in this case, the question and the bit that we are identifying is here, where it's talking about railroads and the lives of Indigenous peoples. Um, so once you know what the question is about, which is what the impact of building railways was on Native Americans, you then need to think about all of the knowledge that you know to answer this question. So, in this case, the impact of building railroads on Native Americans included things like them losing land, or perhaps the migration patterns of buffalo were disrupted, and the disruption would mean that they weren't able to hunt properly, so that would be a consequence. And also, losing land might encourage them to sign um, the treaties to move on to the reservations. So, those are a couple of the consequences. To answer this question, you need to make sure that you are writing a full paragraph. So, if I show you the mark scheme for this question, we can see that to get all 4 marks, you need to analyse the feature to explain the consequence, but also include specific factual information about the topic to support your understanding. So let's have a look together an example now of how we would answer this question. Okay, so in this example, we'll go through where the 4 marks have come from, and we'll look at it as a peel paragraph. So at the beginning up here, I shall mark P because this is my point sentence, and it says one consequence of railroads being built was the destruction of the buffalo. Um, then I've actually done this sort of in the wrong order because I have explained a little bit before I then later come um, down here where I've included more evidence. And I've put the expansion of the railroads made it easier for settlers to hunt buffalo in large numbers, including for sport. Really, where I've put sport, that is a specific example, so could be considered to be evidence. This led to the collapse of the buffalo population by the 1880s. Again, here I'm being really specific, and that's a good example of evidence, which impacted the lives of Indigenous, such as the Lakota. So, here again, I've got a specific example, so more evidence, and then I've further explained it, linking it back to the question. Who relied on buffalo for survival. This destroyed their ability to eat, clothe, and shelter. So that's a really clear consequence there. So that will get me 4 marks for this question.